Do you believe in myths? Do you think they could be real? There are so many different stories from different cultures in different languages, and yet there are always certain details that remain suspiciously consistent. How could there not be at least some truth to these old tales? This one would be considered an urban legend about a foul monster who dwells deep in the woods. Some claim he's a demon, born from the bowels of hell. To others, he's a fallen angel, cast from heaven for his unquenchable greed. But who's to say what he really is? All we hear are the whispers of a creature with a blazing desire for all things metal. The whispers of the Buffalo King, the Hell Farmer, the Soul Raper, or the most common of all, the Iron Devil. This story begins many years ago with a man named Jerry. Jerry was a simple man, a lonely man, a man with aspirations for something more, but unfortunately, he was a man who never quite escaped his shell of mediocrity. Now, on this particular day, poor Jerry got himself lost in a vast, sprawling forest after a misguided attempt at a shortcut home. He'd been wandering for what seemed like hours, desperately searching for something with a sense of familiarity. But each step only took him further into the unknown. He came across an old, secluded path shrouded in a dense mist. His instincts begged him to run, but regrettably, Jerry was a foolish man, and he did as most foolish men do. He ignored his intuition completely. Along the path, he came across dozens of filthy metal trinkets and junk strewn about the ground and hung from the trees. Their placement was deliberate, strategic, haunting. Thoughts of sacrificial cults and bloodthirsty psychopaths filled Jerry's head. And that's when he saw it. Hanging from a tree, a twisted idol in the shape of an owl, clad in metal utensils, and underneath, some kind of rotten food offering. The stench was too much. Overcome by panic, he took off, even deeper into the woods. Jerry ran and ran as hard as he ever had, until he emerged in a foggy clearing and noticed a man crouched over a meal of juicy, rotten fruit. Desperate for help, he called out. Now, it's said that the Iron Devil usually appears in the form of a feral, predatory animal, but as Jerry stepped forward into a lair adorned in strange metal ornaments, he saw a young man in ratty clothes, one eye white as snow and fingers tipped with ragged claws. Jerry started to ask the beast for directions, and as he rambled on, he felt a cold chill in the air, accompanied by a sickly, pungent odor. He was paralyzed in terror, shaking and utterly hopeless as the devil's reply came, spoken in an acidic, slightly effeminate voice. A voice that reverberated deep inside of Jerry's chest, one that only hell could produce, twisted with greed and jealousy. Eventually, the Iron Devil agreed to help Jerry find his way out of the woods, and all he asked for in return was the change in Jerry's pockets. Jerry agreed, digging deep into his pockets without a second thought. When he looked up, the Iron Devil was already on top of him, moving through thin air as if he were part of the wind or the voices of the trees. Jerry bent to pick up the unwanted paper bills, listening to the demon salivate over his shiny new pennies and dimes. He was eager to leave, naturally, and in in a whimpering whisper, he reminded the monster of their deal. True to his word, the Iron Devil proceeded to outline a series of very specific, simple directions, finally beginning to set Jerry's mind at ease. Thanking the creature, Jerry gave a quick wave goodbye, revealing the shiny metal band of his father's old wristwatch. The demon's hand lashed out like a serpent's tongue, and the shock sent Jerry to the ground. He tried to back away, but he soon found escape to be impossible. The Iron Devil was everywhere. Jerry cowered as the creature loomed over him, lecturing with a religious zeal on the supreme power of time, the quintessence of mortal life, the delicacy and precision held within those little metal machines. To the Iron Devil, a working watch was the most valuable thing on the planet, and he was prepared to give anything to get his hands on just one more. Effortlessly lifting him to his feet, the Iron Devil demanded Jerry give him the watch. He hollered and spit in Jerry's face, until finally the poor man gave in and gave up his father's watch. Grabbing the timepiece hungrily from Jerry's hand, the demon offered him his choice of reimbursement, anything in the whole wide world. Jerry believed him, and softly he spoke. Wealth, power, and love? Accepting this lofty wish as suitable payment, the Iron Devil offered his clawed hand to seal the deal. The moment their skin touched, Jerry felt a surge of bizarre energy, hollow and cold, oozing through him. And then it hit him. His watch was broken. That supreme power, the quintessence of mortal life that the Iron Devil had spoken of, would not be found in that ugly old paperweight. Jerry knew this, but said nothing. And so, after he left those demented woods that day, Jerry was indeed given all the wealth, power, and love that he had asked for. The only thing he earned, however, was the crippling fear that one day the creature would return to collect on a dirty deal. An everlasting torment that would overshadow his lavish gains, for Jerry swindled the Iron Devil that day. And the beast knows it.